Have you ever lost anything? I mean, like, really lost it. Yeah. I don't mean losing your mind. I mean, have you lost something? Many of us have. We can probably relate to the story that Gary read just now from Luke's Gospel, can't we? There is a person here in Hayes that loses her coffee cups. She doesn't have a huge home, but she has a fairly good-sized home. She goes around from room to room, and she places down a coffee cup, and she can't quite remember where she left it. And she's reported periodically that some of those coffee cups get a little stale. The contents of the cups get a little stale before she finds it again. Something happened like that not too long ago here. Somebody lost a small cup that we put juice in for communion. Well, they didn't lose it. They just set it down. And one of the communion stewards about a month ago found it. It had been here for quite some time. So you can almost see what was happening. It was not ready to use again. So we had to dispose of it. The gospel writer is asking us to consider something that's so much a part of our lives. Losing things, finding things, and rejoicing. The woman that reports that she loses coffee cups, she does a little bit of a happy dance when she finds a coffee cup. I don't know, it's the same kind of happy dance that I saw the girlfriends in the Bibles have last year, which something like that. I don't know. But it's a happy moment when she finds her coffee cups, no matter where she finds them. She's quite happy. Losing, finding, and rejoicing. Those are all key concepts in our everyday lives. Some of us might have a memory of something important that we lost. Maybe it was a relationship that we lost, that we tried to find. We spent a lot of time trying to find that relationship again. And when we found that type of relationship in somebody that we cared a lot about, we were rejoicing. We were happy. We were ready to do a happy dance. The Gospel of Luke is asking us to enter into that episode in life where there are moments where we lose, where we find, and where we rejoice. And then the Gospel is asking us, isn't that a little bit like God and us? Isn't that a little bit like the relationship that we have with God or could have with God? Couple of different things, several things actually jumped right off of the page at me as I was reviewing, rereading this portion of the Gospel of Luke, and may be helpful for us. The act of being lost and being found, of going astray and finding our way or being found. It's not something that we continually do, maybe. It's not something that you or I continue to live in all of the days of our lives, but we can potentially relate to having a moment where we or those whom we care about were lost, and then we were found, or they were found. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks, actually, because Luke takes us into that one story that probably best describes that. Luke will have us examine or re-examine that story of the prodigal son, how the father gave the one son everything that he had. And the one son went away and gave it away, spent it frivolously, the Gospel of Luke will say, and then made a decision to come back to the family. And the Gospel of Luke is inviting us to ask, how is it that that's like God, who welcomes back that young son who spent or threw away the inheritance? How much is that like God? This week, there are two very distinct and different parables that Luke uses. The first one is of the sheep and a shepherd. Sheep and a shepherd. There are 99, according to what is understood, there are 99 who are there, safe and sound. And there is one who is lost, who has gone astray. And the master of the sheep, the shepherd, goes to look for the one who is gone, who is lost. And one might then let that unfold in one's life and say, well, that's a lot like God. How God cares for all of us. Then the second parable that Gary read, how there's a woman who had 10 coins, lost one, and lit a lamp and swept the house until she found the one coin. And when she found the one coin that she had lost, she rejoiced for her finding that one lost coin. How much more is God like that than other ways? Jewish teaching would have been somewhat contrary. Remember with me, let's just review the fact that Jesus, the Messiah, had been over on the other side of the Sea of Galilee, over in the eastern parts of that territory. Not all that far from what is in the news right now, south of Syria, where we're talking about right now in our news, the southern reaches of Syria. The Messiah and the first faith followers were wandering around, and there they encountered a wild man chained to the tombs. And he said, "Leave us alone. We know who you are." And the Messiah said, "Who is we?" And the Spirit said, "We are legion, for we are many." And the Messiah cast out the spirit in that chained man into swine, and those pigs went into the water. And the people of the Gerasenes were wildly upset because this Messiah, this rabbi, this wise one, cast out into their livelihood this presence of evil. Remember how the Messiah and the first faith followers then traveled to the top of the Sea of Galilee, to the north of that region that they had been in. And they crossed over the Sea of Galilee. And as they did, they were met by crowds near Capernaum, near Jesus' safe place, Peter's hometown. And as those people were wanting something from the Messiah, they were wanting to be cured, they wanted a piece of wisdom, they wanted hope, and the Messiah offered them hope, did not disappoint their hopes and wishes and dreams. The Messiah sent out the first faith followers in twos, and those twos amounted to about 72 people going out into those villages, preparing the way for a message of love and of redemption. And at that point, Luke tells us about chapter 12, Jesus turned his face to Jerusalem. Now, I'm not certain, and we discovered this some weeks back, I'm not certain that he was facing one way and he turned and faced another way. I'm not certain that he was looking to the west and then looked south. I think what the Messiah did He knew